Welcome everybody to today where we celebrate the feast of the Solemnity of John the Baptist. Today, if we look at the Holy Gospel, notice how St. Gabriel had called Elizabeth to bear a son and name him John the Baptist. But Elizabeth was of the very old age. Now, why exactly did God call Elizabeth to go bear a son and name him John despite the old ages? This would indicate to each and every one of us here one important theme to which it is prevalent throughout the course of our life. And that is, nothing is impossible with God. Throughout the course of our life, we have been facing with series of challenges that continue to occur. Ranging from young all the way to old, we come to realize that these challenges consistently kept being thrown at us to the point where we have to deal with these numerous sets of challenges. And Jesus invites each and every one of us here, as we continue to go throughout these challenges, question ourselves, do we continue to believe that God is going to help guide each and every one of us here along the journey? Because if we do, then we will come to realize that God had helped each and every one of us here throughout our course of life. And we can actually see that when we look upon our life in the past, to which it is truly God that helped guided each and every one of us here. That is the first of the lesson that Jesus wants to teach each and every one of us here in today's Holy Gospel. The second is, notice that after bearing a son, notice that the name was granted to him as John. Why John? Well, we know that John isn't related to his family members' names, and we can also come to discover that it's a special and a very unique name, which would indicate to each and every one of us here that each and every one of us, as we are born into this world, have a specialized mission to which we are made to do. And when we continue to think about it, this may seem very, very overwhelming. Why did God make each and every one of us to the point where we are granted this special mission? And we know that if we look at the saints, that there are different forms and different ways of how we can love God and love our neighbors as ourselves. So really, it's all about being able to recognize our own uniqueness so that we can be able to better understand the plan that God has for each and every one of us, especially as we continue to go throughout the course of life. Sometimes we need to recognize ourselves in order for each and every one of us here to go and continue to unite with Christ himself. Once we are able to do that, then we will come to realize our own purpose, our own special mission to which we are brought into this world for. For each and every one of us here wants to be able to draw Jesus into our hearts so that we can forever journey towards the kingdom of heaven, which is the ultimate goal that we set for ourselves. So when Jesus continues to give each and every one of us this life, we should take it not for granted, but rather as a gift for each and every one of us here to continue to live out, so that all of us here can continue to make a positive difference to our families, our friends, and then eventually all those who are surrounding each and every one of us here. So by doing that, we will come to recognize that we have built this satisfaction, to which we continue to recognize that we love others just like how God continues to love each and every one of us here. And the next lesson that can be drawn from today's Holy Gospel is that the family have lived a holy life. Why is it important for each and every one of us here to go and live a holy life? The answer is very, very clear. So that we can continue to go to the kingdom of heaven. Being holy does not necessarily mean be superior over other people. Because if we are superior, then we are no better than the Pharisees and the scribes, who also wants to make their human tradition feel superior over God. But being holy means to be like God, where we continue to do and perform good deeds in front of other people, so that way each and every one of us here can go to recognize the presence of God. When we continue to do good, we will come to realize that God's love has been granted back to each and every one of us. And this should be taken as an opportunity for each and every one of us here to continue to go about recognizing our own selves when we continue to perform these good sets of deeds. So each and every one of us here needs to really take into consideration all of our purpose in our life and what good we can go and bring about this world. For time is limited, and yet each and every one of us here can sometimes fail to recognize that we don't have a lot. We have to continue to use our life wisely so that we can go about bringing good to other people. That is something that I and maybe some of us here need to continue to work on, because speaking for myself, I come to recognize that there are a lot of elements that are missing, and I come to recognize that this is one of the elements to which each and every one of us here can continue to work on. And we also got to recognize that it can take some time for each and every one of us to be able to do this. But let us not use that as a way of refusing to perform good deeds in front of other people. Jesus invites each and every one of us here to continue to start to offer up our hearts to Him, so that each and every one of us here can continue to listen to the voice of Jesus as He continues to help transform each and every one of us, especially throughout our journey of faith. And if we continue to think about John the Baptist, notice that John the Baptist has been made to be good, where he was known for telling other people to go and prepare the way of Jesus. So let it be to us too. Let His calling echo to us as we continue to live our life, to continue to make the way for the Lord, so that the Lord can continue to help come into our hearts as He transforms each and every one of us here to become good shepherds of Christ. Today, Jesus invites each and every one of us here to consider our own calling, whether it's to priesthood, whether it's to nuns, whether it's to marriage, or even when it's being called to live a holy life. Let us consider how God continues to work through each and every one of us here, so that we can go to continue to fulfill our calling, so that we can continue to recognize the loving power of Christ as He continues to dwell within each and every one of us here. Thank you to each and every one of you guys for taking the time to listen to this reflection. And for more videos like this, please consider liking and subscribing and commenting down below any questions that you may have about the faith. Thank you.